Hey guys, so last week, if you watched my review, I said that I was going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this week. But at the last minute, I decided to change my mind. Mainly because ever since I've seen previews for this thing, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one, I have hated everything about it. And I was not looking forward to it one bit. And that's coming from somebody who's a Turtles fan and grew up a Turtles fan. Um, and I really could not give a shit about this thing. And the reviews have been really bad as it is. And I was like, all right, I gotta go see something else. I don't want to waste my money on this shit. I'll tell you this: when it comes out on DVD, I'll rent it and then I'll give my review for it. I don't want to pay full price for this bullshit. I want to support a good Turtles movie, not a bad one. I don't want studios to keep producing shit like this. This is why I didn't go see Transformers, the new Transformers. I don't want to go spend my money on this bullshit and keep, ha- milking the cash cow as it is. Um, but so then I decided to go see Lucy. This is a movie that, for the last couple of weeks since it's been out, I've been hearing really good things about it. Everybody all of my friends that have seen it have told me it's a pretty damn good film, which was kind of surprising to me. That in the fact that whenever time I got the trailers for this movie, I kind of went, like it just looks like Limitless, but if Scarlett Johansson got superpowers instead of super intelligence, woohoo! And I'm not a huge Scarlett Johansson fan, and I'm like, I was like, I'm not, I don't hate her or anything, and it just, I don't, you know, I give or take her really. Um, so yeah, and it was also the only one of the things that did intrigue me was it was being directed by Luc Besson. Luc Besson is the director of such movies as like The Professional or whatever, or Leon or whatever you want to call it, La Femme Nikita, and also has produced and wrote like movies like Taken and Taken Two, The Family, stuff like that. And so I've enjoyed most of his stuff. And you know what? This movie was interesting. It definitely was, and in a good way. I mean, in a good way. It was kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed it. Although I didn't know what the fuck was going on for half of it, especially the last 10 minutes, which I'll get into. But overall, honestly, it is a fun sit. I had actually had fun watching it, and I definitely think had a lot more fun than I would have in a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Um, Scarlett Johansson was fine in this movie. For people that bitch about her and her kind of not very good acting, people always say that she doesn't have very good acting skills. She does fine, and people that say she's a robotic or anything like that, well, she is robotic in this movie, and they give her excuse. I'll give her that. Because halfway through the movie, when she's starting to get more access to her brain, she starts like losing all humanity about herself. Like she starts losing the sense of feeling and stuff like that. And because of that, she starts talking like this, has no emotion whatsoever. So that gives her kind of a reason to be kind of bad, like come off like a bad actress. If you don't like her, she comes off pretty good in this. She plays the role to a T, in my opinion. She did a fine job. I have no problem with Scarlett Johansson. I think this is what Black Widow should have been. I'll say that right now. I would rather this kind of version of Black Widow than one we got in Avengers. Even though I did like her in, I thought she was definitely better in second Captain America. I thought she improved upon that character in the second Captain America. What else? Morgan Freeman's great. They give him a lot of fucking dialogue that only Morgan Freeman could pull off. Like, with a straight face, too. Like, they give him some really stupid dialogue in this movie, but you know what? he pulls it off with a straight face, and only Morgan Freeman can pull that off. I love Morgan Freeman. I just adore the man. He's an awesome actor. He always has been. Like, here's a good example. That scene where he's giving a lecture at his at the college about the brain's capacity, a human's use of their brain's capacity, and he's talking about that, and he talks about that once you reach 20% of your brain's capacity, you start to control your own body. At 30%, you start to control other humans, and then at 40%, you start to control matter. And he says that with a straight face. And there's other lines in this movie you're like, good for you, Morgan Freeman. This movie, it is definitely, the best way to describe it is, it's limitless, but if you had superpowers instead of super intelligence. Because that's what happens in this movie. It is exactly almost the plot of Limitless to a T. Almost. The key word is almost. The general concept is, stolen from Limitless, but because it is a pill that gives her this power and stuff like that. Like, if you don't know the story, Scarlett Johansson, it opens like with Scarlett Johansson. She's like living in China, and her boyfriend that she's only met for a week basically asked her to do a job for him where all she has to do is take this briefcase into this hotel and talk to the receptionist and have her and ask for this Chinese man who I think is a crime lord, and he once he comes down, all she has to do is give him the briefcase, and they'll get $1,000 that they'll split 50-50. There you go. Of course, being this movie doesn't go well. She goes in there, goes to the receptionist. Her boyfriend's standing outside, gets shot in the head, and the guy, crime lord, comes down, captures her in the briefcase, has her open the briefcase, and it's like 3 pouches of this blue substance that are like these pills, and he basically tells her he's willing to give her a job, and she's like, I don't want a fucking job, what the hell? And next thing you know, knocks her out, wakes up, this pouch full of blue stuff is in her stomach. They cut her stomach open, put it in there, and she has to carry it to a different country. And while on her way to the airport, for some fucking reason, I don't know why, his henchmen make a pit stop at someplace, like this, it's like some abandoned building, I guess, and they proceed to beat the shit out of her, and the bag starts leaking into her body, and of course the effects of the pills start to take effect on her, and from there, this movie is a fucking acid trip. It's the best way I can put it is that this movie is an hour and a half of a fucking acid trip. Seriously, I think the best way to watch this movie is to be on drugs. I would seriously, I don't do drugs. I want to clarify that right now, but I don't condone taking drugs, but this would be pretty funny to watch while high off something. I will say that, because this movie felt like an hour and a half of an acid trip. From that point forward, like from once the pills start to take their effect, because slowly but surely she grows. No better way to put it, but she starts getting like fucking superpowers. She can bend space and time. She can levitate people into the air. She can basically touch a person and tell if they're sick. She can like touch a person's head and read their fucking minds. She can access people's memories. She can I'm not joking here. She can controlled electrowave. That's easy for me to say. Waves, and basically control TVs so that's in radios and phones and stuff like that, so she can be on all of them. Seriously, that's what happens in this movie. And then, but yeah, like this movie, it's absurd. It is. This movie is really absurd. Sorry, I dropped my phone. It's just plain absurd. And if you watch this kind of movie knowing that, it's one of those movies you have to kind of turn your brain off, because it is really stupid. Some of the things are really stupid, but honestly, it's a lot of fun. I wasn't pissed about anything about it. The last 10 minutes though really go off the rails. They really do. Like, somebody explain to me what the fuck happened in the last 10 minutes. I literally have no idea what happened in the last 10 minutes. I actually went on Wikipedia after I watched this movie. I was like, I want to see if Wikipedia could explain what happened in the last 10 minutes. And seriously, go on the Wikipedia page if you haven't seen this movie, if you have seen this movie already, and read, like, their explanation. It's kind of hysterical. Like, them trying to go out of their way. Like, it's so fucking complicated. Like, the whole paragraph on the last 10 minutes is just fucking complicated and make your mind explode. Like, literally, she becomes, she's, like, I'm gonna get into spoilers here a little bit. She finally gets to 100% full capacity of her brain, basically, and while she's starting to get there, she starts to access more information about the universe and life itself and blah blah blah, and she's able to fucking bend time and space and go back in time all the way to the cavemen, which apparently the first woman, I don't know how true this is, the first woman, the cave woman out there was named Lucy. I don't know how true that is. Maybe it is true, but she just goes back in time. She sees the beginning of the universe, and it's fucking trippy as hell. And you're like, at the end of it, I'm just sitting there go, I have no idea what the fuck happened. And the movie ended, I'm like, I don't know what just fucking happened, but that was kind of good. It was like, I wasn't bored. It was an hour and 20 minutes, and it kept me interested the whole time. It didn't bore me one bit. I wasn't, like, mad, like, sitting there like, I have no fucking idea what's going on. This is pissing me off. It wasn't one of those kind of movies. I enjoyed this. It was a fun sit. Would I recommend seeing it in the theater? Yeah. It's not. There's a lot worse out there to see than this. So, if you've already seen like stuff like Guardians and Hercules, actually I probably would say this and Hercules. You could, if you've already seen Guardians and stuff like that. You haven't seen this yet, go check it out. It's not a bad sit. It definitely isn't. As far as trailers, I got two new trailers. One I want to talk about, and I'll save that for last. The first one was Fury, the new David Ayer film. The guy made End of Watch, wrote Training Day. He also made Sabotage earlier this year. Guy who I really like. So far I've liked his movies. Even at Sabotage, even though it was one of the most foul-mouthed movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And I thought the dialogue was shit. This one is kind of a departure from what he usually does, because he usually does like cop movies, you know. And this one is a World War II tank movie. It's about Brad Pitt and Shia fucking LaBeouf. Fuck, goddammit. I hate that guy. But yeah, it's got Brad Pitt in the lead. That's what kind of matters. And they're part of like this group. They're in charge of this tank called Fury, and that's all I know about. And like one point, there's like 6 of them about to face 300 men. That could be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see, because this is something different from anything he's ever done. Like I said, mostly it's cop movies he's made up to this point, and seeing him doing a World War II film, that's kind of interesting. And the other trailer I got was 50 Shades of Grey. I was saving my thoughts on this trailer until I saw this in the theater. And it was the first trailer I got in front of this movie. And do I have to really say anything about this goddamn thing? Do I? I mean, this is like, I could go on a rant. And actually, honestly, this is one of those things that I don't get pissed about this as much as I used to get pissed about Twilight. Although, at the same time, this and Twilight are basically setting back women 100 years, in my opinion. And fucking women nowadays are fucking retarded. Like, this is what you like, people? Really? Fucking really? This is what represents your sex? Really? Fucking... Anyways, but one thing I noticed about this trailer that I didn't notice about when I saw it online at first, it's like, you know what? I kept thinking while I was watching this, like, this, you could pull this, if you didn't know what this material was about, you could easily make this into, like, a thriller, like, believe that this was, like, a thriller or a horror movie, because, like, towards the end of the movie, like, it just abruptly cuts to, like, him showing a room where from what I think I never read the books, but I believe it's all the whips and chains and stuff like that he uses on her, and like it has some really dark, eerie music when he opens that door. And they show flashes of what's in that room, and it's like this could easily like be mistaken for like a thriller, not a like erotic film that you're supposed to be like just amazed or like turned on by. It is. It's like it really does. Like, and the guy's fucking creepy. Like, I think it's also funny that it's like starring the daughter of Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith. No fucking joke. Look that up. I wonder what Don Johnson thinks about this movie. His daughter being in this movie. And some guy I never heard of playing Christian Grey. Again, but here's the thing, and I know people are going to laugh when I say this. Even though I know this movie's, like, I never read the books and I have no desire in reading the books, I am going to see this movie when it comes out in February. Oh yeah, I'm seeing this movie. I'm probably going to be the only guy in this. It probably, I honestly, I'm hoping that I get, and if I go see this, I have to see it in a crowded theater of women. This is going to be funny to watch. I think the crowd reaction will be better than anything. I think that's the only way I think I'd have to watch. I'm going to have to try to get a group of friends to watch that one with me. I'm going to have to ask maybe my buddies to see this. Female friends. Might be a little awkward, but whatever. But yeah, I will see it when it comes out. As I'm kind of curious as to, like, I've never read the book, like I said, but I'm kind of curious as to how the fuck they're gonna pull this off on film, especially with some of the things I've heard about in this book. My sister actually had this on a Kindle Fire one time, and she let me read one of the pages, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it was my reaction. Like, my sister was one of the few females out there that actually thinks this is, like, complete garbage. And it is. It's complete fucking garbage. But it is kind of entertaining. Like, it's kind of become very entertaining. And it's nothing more than... I don't think it tries... That's one thing I like this better than, like, Twilight. It knows it's fucking garbage. It doesn't try to be anything other than that. It is fucking, it's pure garbage. I could go on a rant about this, and I'm not going to go on, because I'll save that for the 50 Shades of Grey review next year, but anyways, go see Lucy. I'll be back pretty shortly here. I gotta finish watching Winter's Tale. It's taken me like 5 days to finally finish this fucking movie. This is gonna be a one entertaining review, I promise you that, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to finish watching that, and I'll be back with that.